AEW Dynamite took place, and this was a show that was built around the main event. They really made it feel like it was this major event. They built Jon Moxley and Jake Hager really well tonight, and they had numerous people from different parts of the media, non-wrestling media part of it. You had a lot of MMA present here. You had Mike Goldberg and Ariel Helwani, and they were really trying to sell this thing. And they were really proud of this match, and they had a hell of a main event. That's what the show was built around. So before that, we started with a Jake Roberts promo, and then you get to Colt Cabana against Lance Archer in a qualifying match. Lance Archer wins. No, not much things to say here. Britt Baker cuts a decent promo for her dental office. She's good. I think she can be a star. I think it's hard just to put the belt on her. I haven't seen Nyla Rose on TV in so long. Just get off Nyla, and I just go with Britt. Then they go to Ariel Helwani and Taz as they make their predictions for the title match. Helwani picks Hager and Taz picks Jon Moxley. If you don't know who Ariel Helwani is, he's basically the most famous MMA journalist there is. He's very popular. He has a show called the MMA Hour. I usually watch parts of it. I can't watch it all. It says MMA Hour, but it's really like MMA 5 hours. He interviews, every Monday he interviews UFC stars, Bellator stars, people in the MMA world. And they go on a show and they talk about fights. He'll occasionally will have a wrestler on, not weekly, but on occasion. And they talk about the fight, to talk about their careers. It's a good interview. And he interviews usually 5 to 6 fighters, and it's about 5 hours in length usually. It's very long. I don't watch it all. It's impossible to watch all in one sitting, but I do watch parts of it. Ariel's great at what he does. He's by far the best journalist in MMA, and he's the most well-known without question. And you had him picking Hager, mainly due to the MMA background. I thought he sold it really well. So I thought Ariel did a really good job here. He's really good at what he does. Britt Baker beat Cassandra Golden. Britt gets the destruction win. I would just put that title on Britt. I think she has more potential than anyone else, certainly Nyla Rose. You had Ron Funches and Mike Goldberg gave their predictions. I think they're both with Bellator. I'm not sure the connection, especially with Ariel, since he's with ESPN. I believe he's still there, right? If he's with ESPN, UFC's with ESPN. Bellator, I believe, is with Paramount, who owns them. Or they used to be Spike, I believe. It doesn't really make much sense for Ariel Helwani to be with ESPN or to be with Bellator, but then you had Ron Funches and Mike Goldberg, who used to be the UFC commentators with Bellator now. They did well here. Funches, I think, has more of a better understanding of wrestling. Mike Goldberg, who's not related to Bill Goldberg in any way. No, not all Jews are related. But he picked his buddy Jake Hager, so I guess him and Hager are friends. I guess they know each other. Yeah. Actually, he works in Bellator, so he probably knows Hager. So Mike Goldberg. Okay, this I shouldn't tell the story, but he actually got a major offer to ditch the UFC and go to WWE on Monday Night Raw. He was gonna quit UFC, and this was, I think, before UFC was on. This was on UFC was on Spike, and WWE, I think, was on USA. They just went back. In 2010-ish, if I'm not mistaken, Goldberg was offered a whole bunch of money to quit the UFC and go to the WWE, and they were going to make a huge deal about it, but he backed out and he stayed with the UFC. And they fired him a few years ago. It was kind of a dick move. Dana White was an asshole to him. Anyway, going back to wrestling, they did a good promo to Double or Nothing. Inner Circle segment with the whole bubbly bunch that played. You had Santana Ortiz run down the Young Bucks. Sammy Guevara beat Shug D. I was going to say Suge Knight or something. Suge Knight gangster. But Shug D. Dominant win by Guevara. Not much to say here. We're just building to the main event at this point. He cut a promo after the match. He says he's going to win the TNT title and he's going to beat the shit out of Darby Allin. MMA ref Big John McCarthy and Excalibur give their predictions for the main event. McCarthy picks Hager. Excalibur picked Maka. So what you have is all the MMA guys supporting the fighter and all the wrestling people supporting the wrestler. Even though Hager is a wrestler too. Kip Sabian comes out with his fiancée now, Penelope Ford. They did get engaged last week. Kip Sabian's a lucky bastard. He's dating a 10. Penelope Ford, if you think Penelope Ford's anything but a 10, you're an idiot. You have no concept on the attractiveness of a beautiful woman. She's gorgeous. She's a smoking hot blonde. He's very lucky. I hope he not only, marries her, I hope they have kids. Because I think with Penelope Ford's genetics, we need as many Penelope Fords in this world. I think she needs to have many kids because she can pass those genetics. I think the world would be better off with if we get like 3 more daughters. She has like 3 daughters who look like her. So good for you, Kip, and please make beautiful babies with Penelope. Anyway, Kip beat Chuck Taylor. Just put the camera on Penelope. I do not care about Kip Sabian. I love Penelope, and she hit a flying head scissors off the top rope, and then Kip Sabian got Taylor for a roll-up, and she's really good, and Sabian gets the win. I believe, was this a qualifying match? No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it was. This was a very good match to set up the main event. We got more main event predictions. You had actor Dan Snyder, Dan Snyder, that's a director, why would I think of that? Ortiz and Guevara pick Hager. Sean Spears beats Justin Law. Dominant win. The pair of NXT tournament tournament matches are announced next week. You have Sammy Guevara against Darby Allin. You have Dustin Rhodes against Kip Sabian. I think Sammy and Kip should both win those. So maybe Darby and Kip. Darby would be a good choice. Jimmy Havoc against Orange Cassidy is announced, and then you have I don't want to watch Jimmy Havoc. I love Orange Cassidy, but I don't know. That's like the worst match. Brody Lee is in action, and Kenny Omega, I believe, will wrestle next week. Josh Johnson and Santana both predict that Jake Hager is going to beat Jon Moxley. The AEW World Championship is the main event. You have Jake Hager against Jon Moxley. The champ Moxley defends his title. And this was a no-holds-barred, just hardcore match, false count anywhere match. And this has been built up for weeks. Everyone has known this match is really good, so I suspected we were going to get a really good matchup tonight. I knew it was going to be really good. I knew it would deliver, and it did. I really thought they were going to go out there and have a hell of a match. It's been taped so long. I do think that's a problem, however, is when you have so many shows that are taped now, it just gets to a point where people think, okay, everything's been in the can for a while. It's hard to get excited for it, but because it had so much potential and they were doing so much to build it up, I got excited for it because I knew it was going to be good. I guess that's the one thing advantage about a tape show. If you know something's really good, you get excited to watch, and they had a hell of a matchup. It was a great battle. They fought in the crowd. I'm thinking to myself, I don't know, with this whole coronavirus, are there going to be some sanitary problems when you go fight in the crowd? I don't know. They beat each other up all over the stands, all over the ring. They used weapons. It was battle. It went on forever. Hager had some near falls, but eventually Moxley gets the win. Jon Moxley defeats Jake Hager to have a fantastic main event here tonight. Great match, and Moxley is still your AEW World Champion. So I thought the main event really delivered, and because the show is built around the main event had to deliver to have a good show, and it certainly did. So I would say Dynamite was a good show tonight with a great main event.